Welcome back to this tutorial series, and in this tutorial series that I've created, we are creating a Laravel Vue.js Crud application, a very simple and basic one. And in this case, we are also using Inertia Js sort of to remove the heavy work of us being forced to create an API. So we will continue, and in this specific episode of this tutorial, I would like us to work on creating a user, or in this case a customer, because that is what I would like us to do. So I'm going to create a controller here, and we are going to run the command. Let me just push this one up a little bit, and also maybe clear terminal, and then we are going to run the command php artisan make controller, and we are going to call it customer controller. The controller has been successfully created. I will also want to create a model, so we are going to run the command php artisan make model. In this case, we're just going to call it customer, and then I also want it also to create migrations at the same time. So we run this command, and we have the migration and the models created successfully. I would like to go to the migrations and be able to just set up whatever it is that we will be working on in this case. So I'm going to just move this one a little bit like this, and then go to database migrations. Then of course we are going to check the last migration, and here I want us to just include a few fields. In this case, I want us to have the customer name, which should be a string name, and then we are going to have the email, in this case the customer email, and then obviously maybe we can also have the customer phone. So those are the three things that this table will be storing for us. And maybe for the email, because it's not possible for two people to have the same email, we can put a constraint that it is unique. And also for the phone number, also that one we can put a constraint for it being unique. I also want to go to models, so app models, and inside customer.php I just want to do the following, just allow mass assignment, so protected and then fillable. And in this case we are going to allow mass assignment for the following fields, in this case name, email, and phone, like that. And then I want us to go back to our controller. Maybe we will do some work on the controller later. I want us to go back to resources, and then views, app.play.php, and here is where we are loading our page actually. And in our previous tutorial we were actually having our page looking like this, the index page. So let me just try and run our application such that you can be able to see. So I'm going to run php artisan serve, and then I will also run the command to compile our assets npm run npm run dev, those two commands. And as everything is now fine, I can be able to just visit our application at localhost 8000. And here, as you can see, we are loading this file that we have in in a resources JS folder. Under pages, we have create.vue, which actually has that data, hey dev. Now, after that, I probably would like to, because we are using Bootstrap, instead of putting the class of container elsewhere, maybe we can just put it here in the root of our application. So I will just have a div with a class of container. So, and then with a class container like that. And then now you move this directive and just paste it inside here like that. And when you check it, Vite has reloaded our page, and you can see now this text is moved a little bit inside. I would like us to go and create a basic form in our create.vue, and here I'm just going to do a little bit of copying of some form from Bootstrap. So the first thing I would like to do is to go to bootstrap.com and copy a card. So you go to getbootstrap.com, and then we are going to copy a card, and so I will scroll downwards to where we have cards, components, and then card. And probably I can just go ahead and pick a card down here. Maybe I like using some card here. Let me just scroll a little bit. Yes, this one. You copy it, and so you come and just replace whatever it is that you're having in create.vue. And remember, this is a series of tutorials. These are previous tutorial that we have had. I would just like to paste it here and probably just indent it a little bit. So you move it a little bit on the inside such that we style it somehow. I've just copied everything that we have in this card in bootstrap.com. Now if we are to save, and go and check in our page, you can see this is what we are having. And then I want to just go also ahead and get the form. In this case, I want us to, yes, we have forms, and I've clicked at overview of the forms. I just want to pick the first form that we have here, this one here, and then we are going to remove some of the content inside card body. So everything, the h5, the p tag, and the link. So all those I'm going to remove, and we are going to replace with our form. And then I will also still just check such that I'm able to just move ident a bit. Yes, everything on form, I can be able to just move it such that we have proper styling. Let me remove this such that you can be able to see exactly what I've done. Yes, maybe up to somewhere there. Yes, so in this case we have the form, and everything that we have inside here is what I have copied from bootstrap.com. So the form, this one up until where it ends here. And so if we come back and check, you can see now we have a form. Okay, and then I will go ahead and maybe just do a little bit of styling. So for example, I want to remove some of the things that are there. For example, this checkbox is one we can remove. We don't need it. And then also I want my card not to span the whole page. So maybe inside the card class, where the card begins, I'm going to just set a column 6 and an offset of 3 to just push it and make it look nice like this. After that, I would still want to just remove some few more things. Where we are having the email help, this line here, I want to remove like that and save. And then also I also want to just ensure that we have now the fields that we require. So the first field should be name, so I'm going to have name here, and then the type should be name, and then of course I will have vModel, and we are going to set it as let me say form.name. I will tell you why we are doing it like that in a short while. And then we also need to have it having an ID of name, so ID of name like that. The next field will be email, and then this field, the type is email, and then you have vModel, which will be form.email, and then also I would like us to have an ID of email. Now you copy this one more time, just once, and change it to whatever it is that we need, which is a password. I mean, not password, but phone. So the last input is going to be, the type is going to be number, and the ID is a phone, and the vModel phone, that is form.phone. After that, I would like us to do something above here under the script, and we are having script setup, which enables us to be able to reduce on the number of the things that we are typing in. So we are going to import a helper. which we call use form. So import use form, and this is a form helper that we are importing from Inertia. So from Inertia JS Vue 3, like that, and then we will go ahead and use it. So we are going to declare a form as a constant, so form, and in this case we are going to use this use form helper that we have called in here. So use form, and then we are now going to have our data here. So the first thing that we have is a name, and for now we are going to set it to null, and then we are going to have email, and these, remember, the fields that we are creating. Even this one you set it to null, and then the phone, even this one we are going to set it to null, like that. The reason why I mentioned that this is going to be form.name is because we are actually referencing form, and then inside the form we have the name value. So that is the reason why we were having it like that. So now everything seems to be fine, and then now as we submit this form, I would like us to just say at submit.prevent, or maybe at click.prevent, at submit.prevent, and in this case we are going to just call submit, and maybe remove every other thing that we have there. Yes, so I think if it is like that, we are very okay. So whenever we click this button to submit, then it will prevent reloading of our page, but then it will be able to call this method which we are calling submit. So I want to just declare that method here. So after the form, I would like to declare that method. So we're just going to have function submit, and here we are going to use a route, another helper which we are calling router. So let me import it. So we can say import router from again at Inertia Vue 3, the same thing like that. And so we are going to use it here. So when we click submit, we are going to just submit our form in this form. So we are going to say router, and then you can put the method that you're using, whether it's post or get or delete, whichever method you're using, you're going to state it here, and then the URL that you're going to call. So in this case, I'm going to post to customers, just trying to follow the Laravel convention, and then we are going to post our form. So in this case, the data that we have in our form is what we are going to post in this case. So now after that, it seems as if my my file is having issues, because I can see we have some problems here, and let me just check if if the page is loading perfectly, but as you can see, there is a challenge. We have a duplicate attribute, so let me just check it out and correct. I can see why we are having a problem, because the initial form that we copied from Bootstrap also has another value of ID, so that's the reason why we are having that challenge. So let me just remove for all of them. So for that one I have removed. Also this one we have an ID in front here, so example password, this one I will remove because we are setting different ID for the various inputs. And then also even this one I would like to just remove it like that. And so I believe there is no error now. So now we have our form, and I would like us to just go ahead and see how we can be able to submit this form. And you can see when you open or refresh the form, we have it looking very nice, only that here I have to change one of them to email and the last one to phone. So this last one I want to change it to phone like that. Let us go and create the route whereby we will be submitting this form. So in this case I want to go to routes and then web.php, and in this case even this one we are going to change because we are using the original single route that we find in our Laravel application, but I want to change it to something else. So I would like us to just transfer everything and use the controller. So here I want first of all to have a route, and we're having it as a get route, and in this case we are going to have customers create, and this route is the one that is being loaded here. So in this case we will remove it from here and we are going to send it to the controller. So here I'm going to have our controller, and the name of our controller is customer controller, and the method is create, like that. Let me just move this. Yes, so customer controller create. We are also supposed to import our controller here, so I'm going to just say use app http controllers and then customer controller, like that. And then now I want us to go to the customer controller and have the create function, in other words the create method. So I open it, maybe just close like this, and I just want to have a function here which I'm going to call public function create, and in this case we're just going to do the same thing. So what we have here, inertia render create. So this is what I'm going to copy and paste it here. And then of course I will not forget to use inertia like that. And then now in our web.php now we can just return this one to the initial thing that it was doing. So return view welcome, because this one was initially like that. so we don't need it. So whenever you go to this route, you will go to welcome, but when you visit customers create, then you're supposed to visit our form. So let me just attempt and see if that is exactly what is going to happen. And we can see controller create does not exist. Method app http controller customer create does not exist. Let me check. We have, yes, I have not saved my changes as a reason because we had created the method. So now you can see again we are loading our form. So now after that, because I do not want us to make this video very long, I would like to pause this video here such that in the next video then we can be able to put in the functionality. Thank you very much for following this tutorial up until this point. I ask that if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe because it means a lot to me.